One of Donald Trump's lawyers, a man by the name of Evan Corcoran, whose name you may recall. If you don't, I'll explain why you may know it in just a minute. But the DOJ is having a hell of a time trying to get Mr. Corcoran to actually testify about what he knows regarding the document scandal that, of course, Donald Trump is involved in. And that's actually where you may know Evan Corcoran's name. Corcoran is the man who not only talked with the DOJ and said, we'll give you all the documents. Yeah, I think you got them all. And then he drafted the letter that Trump lawyer Christina Bobb signed, swearing last summer prior to the FBI going to Mar-a-Lago that they had in fact turned over every single classified document that was in Donald Trump's possession. So Corcoran was subpoenaed by Special Prosecutor Jack Smith, who's working on the document case as well as the fake elector scheme and the other attempts to overturn the 2020 election from Trump. And Corcoran recently, when testifying, invoked attorney-client privilege so that he didn't have to give up all the details of the conversations he had with Donald Trump. Now the DOJ has been forced to pull out a legal tool called the crime fraud exception, which means if you, the client, spoke with them, the attorney, about doing crime or committing fraud together, then that is not, in fact, protected by attorney-client privilege. And the reason we know that courts are not exactly keen on granting attorney-client privilege to Donald Trump's lawyers is because of the case of John Eastman, who they also had to invoke the crime fraud exemption in order to get his documents from his involvement in the fake elector scheme. So you already have one Trump lawyer who tried to argue privilege, and then the DOJ had to say, okay, we're invoking this crime fraud exception because Eastman, you weren't just the lawyer, you were in on the scheme. They were able to show that to the court, so they got their hands on all his documents. And it should be no different with Corcoran, because they are investigating not just Donald Trump, but also Corcoran and other Trump attorneys. Like, you're not just the guy who represented the former president, you were involved in the scheme, allegedly, based on, what the DOJ seems to think. So what happens now is the DOJ, Jack Smith, maybe personally, will go to court, they'll go in front of a judge and say, listen, judge. They'll be way more formal than that. They're not just going to say like, hey, judge, listen up. And they're going to say, we believe Evan Corcoran was involved in the scheme to lie to the federal government, essentially under oath, which is what that sworn statement was that Christina Bobb signed that Corcoran drafted. We believe he was in on the scheme, and therefore he is a subject of the investigation, a target, not just a, side player witness. This is a guy that might have charges filed against him for obstruction, for perjury, for all sorts of things. And therefore, these documents he is trying to protect would fall under that crime fraud exemption, and we can get our hands on them. As I mentioned, the DOJ has already successfully made this argument in front of one judge, so I have no reason to believe that they're not going to be able to successfully make the argument in front of a different judge involving Evan Corcoran.
One of our sponsors today is Fume. Fume is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us, like ones that harm our health. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. Instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious, natural flavors. Fume's new version 2 model is snappy and tactile. With an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap, your fingers will always have something to do. I'll admit I was a little skeptical before trying Fume, but I've loved it. It looks awesome, fits right in my pocket. The feel, the flavor, the whole experience is very enjoyable and familiar. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. It's Fume's goal to make switching easy and even enjoyable. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who've successfully switched when other solutions just didn't work. Head to tryfume.com and use code ROF to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits. The link is down below.